Bailey? Bridget, can you come back from this? Emily, will you help undress the scroll? Steve. Good evening. Will you hold the scroll?
Then I get to sit next to you when I don't have to do this. That's great. No, this is fine. I only need one.
We're streaming.
We are streaming. Hello, Internet.
Page 128.
Hinei matovu manayim shevetahim dam yachad. Hinei matovu manayim shevetahim dam yachad. Hinei matov, hinei matov. La 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 la. Hinei matov, hinei matov. La 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 la. Hinei matov manayim shevetahim dam yachad. Hinei matov manayim shevetahim dam yachad. Hinei matov manayim shevetahim dam yachad. Hinei matov manayim shevetahim dam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to those who are here. Welcome to those who are virtually here and joining us online. I'm Rabbi Michael Feshbach,
I'm Deborah Waldorf.
and a wonderful September to everyone. It is less than a month before High Holidays, but it is time is marching forward. A warm welcome as well to Bridget and Wesley and your family who are here tonight for, and this is my favorite name for any Jewish ceremony. They are here for an ufruf. And ufruf is an upcoming wedding blessing. So welcome. Their wedding is Sunday. You'll hear more about them later and from them. And welcome to everyone. We begin with Kabbalat Shabbat, the psalms and songs with which we welcome Shabbat. We begin on page 130 and 131. Lechuna Ranana from Psalm 95. Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai. We jump to Psalm 96 on 131. Shiru Ladonai Shir Hadash, yes?
Numbers in the
Page numbers are in the brackets. Page numbers are the pages in the brackets. That's an entire story. I helped get those brackets into this book. I'll tell you that story another time. But then we jump back to page 130 once again to finish off with Lechuna Ranana. So from Psalm 95 and Psalm 96, Lechuna Ranana and Shiru Ladonai.
Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Ladonai. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, l'Adonai, shiru shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai, baruch shemo, basru b'yom b'yom, Yeshuato, shiru l'Adonai, baruch shemo, basru b'yom b'yom, Yeshuato, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai.
Because we have a Torah service tonight, we skip many of the other Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat and jump all the way to Lechadodi on page 138 in the brackets, and 139, stanzas 1, 2, 5, and 9. When we reach stanza 9, not yet, but when we reach stanza 9, we rise, we face the door, as we symbolically welcome the presence of Shabbat, the Shabbat bride, into our midst. Lechadodi, pages 138 and 139.
You start with your tone, because I don't want to start too high for you this time.
Lecha lechadodi,
That works.
likrat likrat.
Lechadodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekavela. La 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 la. Lechadodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor vezachor v'dibur echad, hishmi anu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemu tiferet v'liti la 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 la. Lechadodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekavela.
Likrat Shabbat.
Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor havera'acha, merosh v'kedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh v'machshavatecha, la 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 la. Lechadodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekavela.
Page 139.
Toreri, kiva orei, kumi ori, uri, shir daberi, kivod Adonai alai tila. Lechadodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekavela. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam besimcha u'b'sorah, tov adonai am segula, boi chala. Lechadodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekavela.
The bottom of 143 together. Waking from his sleep, Jacob said, "Truly Adonai is in this place, and I did not know it." He was awestruck and said, "How awe-inspiring is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." Chatzi Kaddish, page 144. We rise once again and face east towards Jerusalem, which happens to be the same direction as the door.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
V'yamad yivrach v'yirtei v'yamlik malchutei.
B'chayim
V'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei v'kudisham Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nehemata Tamiran yama v'yimaru Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
We face each other but remain standing, 149 on the top. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, ha-ma'ariv ha'ravim.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachmeinu u'v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגד יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
V'yachad et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shitecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'shoftecha u'v'kumecha u'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'v'tabtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני
And that, page 646. 646.
Oh, okay, that's right. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a tapestry she wove was one which sang art history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances toward the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. With love on to the one whom we've exalted, Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're gonna dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha neda b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osefele, Nora tehilot osefele.
The bottom of page 161. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, Aporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, Yal Kol Amo Yisrael, Ba'al Yerushalayim. The Shambu, page 162.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Ki shechet yamim asa Adonai, Adonai, et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. U'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam.
Pray as if everything depended on God, but act as if everything depended on you. The Amidah, the Tefillah, we begin on page 164 with the introduction, and we continue on the even-numbered pages for several pages after that as we continue with the Amidah. We rise and we face east. Be seated. Page 178.
Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Ra tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'chol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
Take another moment for personal prayer. Bottom of page 180.
Say shalom b'ramav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom b'ramav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen.
As we call forward for the Torah service, the parents of the groom, David and Rhonda Wasserman, if you'll come forward, and Seth, if you'll come forward to hold the scroll. Emily, if you'll come over here to wait till after the processional to help prepare the scroll to be read. We continue with Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of Torah, page 362. Please rise. The doors slide, so we'll take one of the handles each and slide it apart.
Ein Kamocha Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kema'asecha, malchut et malchut kol amim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai iloh, le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivared et amo ha'shalom. Rachamim, v'tiva v'sonecha et Zion. Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, tivecha Yerushalayim, kivecha levadat avdu, melech elam v'nisa, Adon olamim.
Page 366. Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadu Adonai Iti, Uno Rome
Yisraelu, Lecha Kodsho. Romelu Adonai Eloheinu, Ve'ishachatu, Lecha Kodsho.
Be seated. Sometimes when I watch the late night talk show hosts say, "If we got a great program for you," it feels very familiar. If we got a great Torah portion for you tonight. This is, in fact, one of the most powerful sentiments in the entire Hebrew Bible. This is Parshat Shoftim. It happens to be my daughter Talia's bat mitzvah portion, but my son Daniel, who made his talit. We used to have a talit making workshop for the kids in religious school before their b'nai mitzvah, and Daniel chose the words from this week's portion for the Atara, the famous words from the opening section of the portion, Tzedek, Tzedek Tirdof, L'ma'an Tichiyeh, justice, justice you shall pursue, that you may live, and inherit the land that the eternal your God gives you. This notion of our presence on a land depends on the justice, on the character of the country, of our behavior, applies to the United States, it applies to Israel, it applies to the long-lasting nature of any civilization in the long run. At least that is in our tradition an article of faith, even if it is occasionally disproven by other historical perspectives. But then I am going to jump a few verses from the end of chapter 16 of Deuteronomy a little bit into chapter 17, where you have a remarkable foundation for, and we will study this tomorrow in Torah study at greater depth, the remarkable foundation for limited government. Because it was, in fact, very common in the ancient Near East for a country to be ruled by what kind of leader? A monarch, a king. And you know the story from Genesis about how the name Israel means one who, the story that comes, Jacob got named Israel after that incident with the wrestling match. There's only one problem with that story, and that is that the grammar is wrong. The Hebrew is wrong. It's not really clear to me that Yisrael means to struggle with God. The notion of, some of us have names like this. I'm trying to look around and see who else has an ale ending name. Who has a name that ends in ale besides, well, you do. As do I, right? Any other names that end with L? So Michael, one who is like God, it went to my head. Or Shmuel, Samuel, the one who hears God, but the Yeh blank El, the El ending means God, and the there is the verb. So the Yeh is a future tense. So Yisrael, you know what Sar means. If you know anything about Israel, you know that the foreign minister is called Sar HaChutz, the minister of outside stuff. Chutz means outside. And the interior minister is called Sar the interior, the inside stuff minister, right? The defense minister, Sar HaBitachon. Sar means minister, but more familiarly, you might know, any Sarahs here? Anybody named Sarah? Anybody know anybody named Sarah? All right, thank you for raising it, right? Sarah comes from princess. Sar means rule. And interestingly, in the very beginning of our history, unique amongst the peoples of the ancient Near East for some time, we actually did not have a king. We were ruled by judges. We were guided by prophets. It took a while. Interestingly enough, in Deuteronomy 17, we envision a king. And the words, which I will translate when I read them, if you choose to have a king, can't be a foreign king, but then, and listen when I read it, the king can't multiply wives, the king can't have a lot of horses, and the king can't increase gold or silver too much. Now, first of all, it sounds an awful lot, the Torah claims to be from one time period. But it sounds an awful lot like whoever is writing this is thinking of what king who had 70 wives and increased taxes had stables? Solomon, right? Sounds an awful lot like somebody is referring backwards in time to Solomon, not ahead of, but that's whether it's a direct reference to Solomon or not, think about what this means in the ancient Near East. If you can't have many, many wives, I mean, 3 or 4 is fine. But if you can't have many, many wives, what does this limit your ability to do?
Heirs.
Not necessarily just heirs, but alliances. This is a limitation on diplomacy. If you can't have that many horses, what is this a limitation on? Military, right? And if you can't acquire, I'm trying to resist this. I can't. If you can't acquire too much wealth while you're in office, or even be in office if you've done that before it, what does that limit your ability to do? Taxation, amongst other things. This is a very limited idea of a sovereign. Very different than anywhere else. In fact, if you're going to have a king, what is the Jewish king supposed to do? You're supposed to write this person a Torah scroll, and the person is supposed to read it and cut. This is a limited notion of power. This is a notion that says, again and again in the book of Deuteronomy, don't follow the practices of Egypt. Don't follow the practices of Canaan. And it doesn't mean their cuisine, although it might, actually. Some of the kosher laws may be a reflection on what other people ate that we were not supposed to. This is a limitation on the power of the sovereign in such a way that the sovereign is supposed to focus on the good of the people and not the aggrandizement of the self. This is not power for its own sake. It is power to serve. It is power to do good. It is power to, as the opening of the portion says, power to pursue justice. That is a very powerful portion and relevant in many ways to this very day. By the way, I have written and spoken about this before. I do not think it is appropriate to hang the 10 Commandments up in public school classrooms. Amongst other reasons, Jews, Catholics, and Protestants count the 10 Commandments differently from each other. I don't know how many of you knew that. But the moment that the state chooses to put the 10 Commandments up in a classroom, they are choosing Judaism or Catholicism or Protestantism simply based on which version they put up there. They are choosing between traditions, not but. The notion is not wrong. That our democracy, that our society has its roots not only in the Greco-Roman world, but also, as you see from the separation of powers and the limitation on power in this week's portion, our tradition does, our American tradition, does have some biblical roots in its foundation as well. That part's not wrong. The resulting conclusion of hanging up the 10 Commandments I disagree with, but the impulse to acknowledge many different ancient sources of our modern country, that part is not wrong. For the honor of the Aliyah, the couple-to-be, the soon-to-be bride and groom, Ya'amdu l'Aliyah harishona, Ta'amod Rafaela bar Avraham v'Sarah, Ya'amod Zev ben David v'Rezel Leah lichod HaTorah. For the honor of the Aliyah, Bridget Dara and Wesley Wasserman. Let me make sure I have the right place here before we start. Here it is in. Okay, so I'm going to jump after a few verses. So it's going to take me a minute to find the second reading, but there, if you want to use my tally, you can. Take it, and there's the first word up there. There. And get it.
Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar bani mikol ha'amim v'nan tamanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Open for me here. Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha b'chol sha'arecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha lishvatecha v'shaftu et ha'am mishpat tzedek. Judges and officials you shall appoint in all of your dwelling places in the land which the Eternal your God is giving you to dwell, and they shall judge the people justly. Lo tateh mishpat, they shall not distort justice. Lo takir panim, they shall not recognize faces. They shall show no deference to the great or to those who are weak. Lo tikach shochad, they shall not take bribes. Ki ha-shochad ye'avere nei chachamim v'yesalef divrei tzadikim. For bribes blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the cause of the just. Tzedek, tzedek tirdof, lema'an tichiyeh, v'yarashta et ha'aretz asher Adonai Elohecha noten la. Justice, justice you shall pursue, in order that you may live and inhabit the land which the Eternal your God is giving you. I am now skipping to the middle of Deuteronomy 17. Ki tavo el haaretz asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach. When you come into the land that the Eternal your God is giving you, v'yarashta, v'yashavta bo, when you have conquered it and settled in it, va'amarta, and you say, asima alai melech kechol hagoyim asher sivavtani, I will appoint for myself a king like all the other countries all around me. Sum tasim alecha melech asher yivchar Adonai Elohecha. Bo, you can, I guess you can hear the words reluctantly here. We reluctantly say that you can appoint a king which, as long as God approves of it, Mikerev achicha tasim alecha melech, from amidst your own clans you shall appoint a king. Lo tuchal latet alecha ish nochri asher lo achichahu. You shall not appoint a foreigner to rule over you. Rak lo yarbe lo susim, but this king shall not increase horses. V'lo yashiv et ha'am mitzrayma lema'an harbot sus, and you shall not return, this king shall not cause you to return to Egypt in order to acquire many horses. I suppose that Egypt was a major source of horses. V'Adonai amar lachem lo tosifun lashuv b'derech hazeh od. For God has told you, you shall not go back that way anymore. V'lo yarbeh lo nashim, and he shall not increase for himself a lot of wives. V'lo yisor levavo, and his heart shall not stray. V'chesef v'zahav lo yarbeh lo, and silver and gold shall not increase abundantly for him. Lo ma'od, shall not abundantly increase. V'haya, and it shall be, chishivto al kisei mamlachto, when he is sitting on his throne, v'chatav lo et mishna haTorah hazot, al sefer milifnei hakohanim halevim. The Kohanim and the Levim shall write him, and this is one of the very first times that the term Torah is used this way. In my opinion, this reference to the word Torah refers to the entire book of Deuteronomy rather than the entire Torah as we have it now. But of course, that is a subject for a much larger discussion. V'hayita imo, and he shall keep it with him. V'karavo kol yemei chayav, and read it every day. Lema'an yilmad li'ah et Adonai Elohav, in order to come to revere or hold in awe God. Lishmor et kol divrei haTorah hazot, to do all that is in this Torah. Vet hachukim ha'ela la'asotam, and these instructions to fulfill them. Levilti rum levavo, me'achiv, so that his heart is not haughtily raised above that of all of his subjects. Ulevilti sur min hamitzvah yamin usmol, and he shall not deviate from the law. There's no immunity, absolute or otherwise, in deviating from the law. Lema'an ya'arich yamim al mamlachto hu uvanav bekerev Yisrael, in order to lengthen the time of his just rule over the Israelites, he and his descendants. What's after?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'kayeh olam nata b'dukeinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Shkach. And don't go anywhere, but I'll take the cover back. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzhak v'Yaakov, v'Motenu Sarah Rachel v'Leah. May the one who blessed our parents and grandparents, our ancestors reaching back throughout the generations, bless Bridget and Wesley as they formally and officially begin their married life on Sunday afternoon. As I will say again, on Sunday, Wesley and Bridget met the traditional way, online, on J-Date. And they cite friendship, curiosity, intellect, a commitment to helping people, and baking amongst the factors that bring them together. Bridget and Wesley, may you be blessed in stepping forward together. May the wisdom and traditions of the yesteryears that were inform and add depth to the family you will form in the tomorrows to come. May, as we heard the call from this week's Torah portion, may you build a house of justice, dedicated to faith and service, equality and righteousness, finding fulfillment for yourselves, as well as making the world around you a better place. May you find in the family you form a sense of something special, which echoes beyond the self. And as you have also known the blessing that comes from connection, may you weave yourselves into the fabric of a sacred community as you build a Jewish life together. Mekor Chayim, source of all life, Ein HaChochmah, font of wisdom and the fountain of peace, ways of peace. We ask your blessing for Wesley and Bridget. May the commitments they make sustain them all the days of their life. May the friendship that forms the basis of their relationship be the foundation that sustains and nourishes them through all that they face. And may their home, may your home be a Mikdash Ma'at, a small sanctuary built on devotion to love and learning, community and commitment. May you find shalom together, and let us say, Amen. In the words I will use to close the ceremony on Sunday, so you're almost ready to step on the glass and then kiss each other on Sunday. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God shine in you and through you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha yasem l'cha shalom. And may God give to you the gift of shalom, of peace. And together let us say, Amen. Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Amen.
Amen.
A very long amen. Simen tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and simen tov, simen tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and simen tov, simen tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and simen tov. Yehelanu, 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 Olo Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, Olo Yisrael. You know, when you say the word Kleenex, it's come to mean any particular tissue, right? Or when you say you're going to Xerox something, you mean you're going to photocopy. It can be a Canon machine. right? It could be a different brand of, right? So the Mishaberach, as you just heard, Mishaberach, these are the words, may the one who blessed our ancestors, that open many traditional blessings, as we did for an Ufraf. It is because of Debbie Friedman's song that when you hear the word the Mishaberach, you associate it with the prayer for healing, which we turn to now, and we will in fact use her setting in a moment on page 371. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rachel v'Leah v'yivarech v'yirapeh et hacholim ha'ela. God who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, send your blessing and healing, your comfort and your hope to the following of our friends: Harry Martyr, Jill Wood, Cynthia Baylor, David Wetzel, Sonia Kaplan, Carla Gash, Marilyn Bernson. There are other names in the prayer for healing.
Debbie Fishman and my friends Brenda and Ruthie.
Bill Steffen.
Carolyn Children, Betsy Locker.
Brittany Barry, Jim, Susan.
Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh Cholim, we bless you, O God, who helps us heal, who brings us comfort.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu Mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
As we lift the Sefer Torah to call it, we call forward the Cinderbrand. As we lift the Torah, we'll try to hold the words Tzedek, Tzedek, Terdov in the middle column here. Please rise.
Lizot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe.
Shlosha
Devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, haolam omein. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, haolam omein. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim.
Since that went fairly smoothly, we're going to jump to the bottom of page 373 for Eitz Chaim.
Eitz Chaim hi lemachazikima v'tom hevav neushar derakleha barkei zoham
586 as we continue with Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shaveach l'adon ha'kol, l'teinu l'alel sereshit, shelo atzanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kachem, v'gor aleinu k'kol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishpachim u'modim, lifnei melech malkei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu noteh shamayim v'yoseh haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo, b'govei meromim, hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu et besulato, kakatu b'torato, v'yadata hayom v'hashevota, el levavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, b'shamayim mima'al, v'ya'aretz mitachat ein od.
531.
V'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, vayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to everyone that's here with us this evening. I know we have many guests with us, and to everyone who is watching from home. I'm Linda Karp, I'm president of Beth Israel, and again, I welcome everybody that's here. We are in times of a lot of bad things out there in the world, a lot of sad things, and a lot of people who need comfort. And tonight it was so nice and so uplifting to get to celebrate with Bridget and Wesley on their upcoming wedding. And it was just so nice to have something so nice. So on behalf of Beth Israel, we wish you a long, happy, wonderful marriage. Please join us following services. Those that are guests, when you walk out in the lobby, if you would go down the steps, if you need a ramp, there's a ramp. And we will have candles and kiddush following the service. Tomorrow morning, there will be morning Shabbat study. It will be in the Ashner Auditorium at 9:15. Sunday school is beginning this Sunday at 9 o'clock. I know we have some of our teachers with us today, and I think some of the students. So I wish everybody a good year this year in religious school. If you have not already done so and you have gotten the form for the Book of Remembrance for the high holidays, please send that in. If you don't have the form, you can get it online or you can call the office and we will get it to you. Next Friday evening at 5:30, please join us for a welcome back Shabbat services. There will be a very light dinner and game night. There is no fee for this dinner, but that may not be for other dinners. For this one, you are welcome. Please make a reservation, though, if you are coming by calling the office. And on Sunday, September the 22nd, we are having our second Harvest Festival. It will be from 1 to 6 p.m. outside. We have lots of things planned for children, for middle age, for our seniors. There will be food trucks, music, a bounce house, a beer truck, a cocktail garden, a petting zoo, an apple crisp bake-off, Eagles game. I'm sure I've probably forgotten something. There'll be lots going on. And if you would like to help with that, please let Susan know in the office or myself. I also want to thank Stephanie Glayman. Steffi, give a wave. Thanks to Steffi, we now have the rails up here on the Bima, which we needed because Steffi said, you need rails here, and she was right. And so we have them up. Thank you, Steffi.
Not just you, me too.
For everybody who needs them, so we're glad of that. And with that, I wish everybody Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That was a great pivot from a horrible week to hopefully a much better week. Thank you, Linda. I screamed at the top of my lungs when I first saw the news last week. You know, one of my sermons at the high holidays, probably, I haven't really started, certainly haven't finished, is probably going to be about a sense of connection. But if you don't get it, you don't get it. But to those who do, these are our children. These are our people. This is our family. And then, back to school. What, one day here, back to school before the first school shooting? How do we make this a better place? When I die, give what's left of me to children and old men who wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother, your sister, walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give to them what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live on in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children who need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. As is a custom of our congregation, should you choose to do so, should you feel comfortable doing so, we ask that you rise so that the congregation, as we call the name of a loved one, so that the congregation may know that you are here in mourning and in memory. And for some of you tonight, I know that you were here for 2 or even 3 names, so we'll only associate you with the first name because that's when you'll rise. But so that we may know that you are here in mourning and in memory. And then we will, as is the custom in most Reformed synagogues, rise as a congregation as a whole for Kaddish Yatom, for the mourner's prayer itself. We remember at this time those of our congregation's beloved whose yahrzeit occurs on this Shabbat, the Honorable Isaac Bacharach, Goldie Blaine, Bertha Bush, Arlen J. Chotiner, George Cohen, David Gravis, Milt Dubin, Rabbi Jason Edelstein, Rebecca Geller, Ann Glayman, Dr. Morris Gottlieb, Saul Green, Marcia Grossman, Leatrice Grubman, Harry Hyman, Joseph Pincus, Frederick Pritz, Bernard Przanski, Herman Robinson, Seymour Rossman, Elaine Sherman, David Cinderbrand, Nathan Sirota, Beatrice Sirota, Rabbi Harry Joshua Stern, Sylvia Stern, Meyer Stromfeld, Rebecca Teitelbaum, Jonathan Wood, Harvey Kowalski. And with sorrowing hearts, we add the names of David Singer, Michael D. Berg, Marshall Schweitzer, Ronna Simon, and Hirsch, Poland, Goldberg, 23. Eden Yerushalmi, 24. Carmel Gott, 39. Almog Sarusi, 26. Alex Lubnov, 32. Ori Danino, 25. Christian Aguilo, 14. Mason Shammerhorn, 14. Richard Aspinwall, 39. Christina Iremy, 53. The memories of all of our loved ones are with us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn now to Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. We will rise as a congregation. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba, v'alma tivrach eretei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayei v'yonechon, v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv imhu, amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach leolam olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudushan b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imhu, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imhu, amen. Useh shalom b'mromav, uya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol Yisrael v'imhu, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn in this congregation, to all who mourn amongst the Jewish people, to all who mourn amongst the American public from too many school shootings, to all those who are suffering the pain of loss everywhere, and together let us say.
Oh, say shalom b'mromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom. And please join us for Kiddush, Motzi, and candles. And, one more moment of congratulations for the Wasserman Gara clan. Shabbat Shalom. Yes. Hey. Now I have to give you a honor.
Now we have to give you absolutely.
I'm good. I